Set. Let's roll.
You ready for the start of the college football season? Let's go. All our in-state teams start up this week. Yeah, you had some week 0 games, but everybody in-state, all 6 programs getting going in one in-state matchup. We're ready to talk about it. It's SUU at Utah, Rice Eccles Stadium tomorrow night. And here to break it down, our good buddy and head coach of the Thunderbirds, Delane Fitzgerald. Coach Fitz, good morning. How we doing?
Morning, Devin. Thank you for having me.
Going up this afternoon after school and then getting ready for the season opener. I know this is a tall order. You guys are huge underdogs. How's the week of practice been, though? Where's the excitement level for the players getting ready for a fun environment in front of the Muss up there in Salt Lake?
Yeah. Devin, we had a really good camp, and I think we've had a good week of practice also. Our guys are ready to play somebody else. Let's hit somebody else from another institution of higher academics.
Yeah, looking at this Ute line, Coach, the line, you guys are only 38-point underdogs. Does that line surprise you? You think that's about right? Or what are your thoughts on the prediction from the odds makers?
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about odds, but I'm shocked that they're only 38 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit of respect. You guys were picked third in the UAC. I think you guys got a good chance to win the UAC conference this year. You're going to start 2 quarterbacks, Coach. Can you explain to me why I'm seeing that in the state of Utah? BYU is going to play 2 quarterbacks week 1. We think Utah Tech's going to play maybe 3 quarterbacks week 1. What, is that an FCS thing, or is that really the competition is just so tight they need some game film and coaches need game film to figure it out?
Yeah, if Utah is going to win by 40 tomorrow night, they're going to play 3 or 4 quarterbers.
True.
So they're going to play more than everybody else. I'm trying to make a joke. We've had, Justin Miller graduated in December, and Jackson, Berry, and Bronson since the first week in January, have just been even Steven. And we charted them in about 5 different quarterbacking categories all the way through the spring and then all the way through camp. And, Devin, there's a 2% difference.
Wow.
It's so even. You hit the nail on the head. It's so even that we're going to need to see some game film, and hopefully somebody will separate themselves in a game. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to lose any sleep if they don't separate themselves. We'll just keep playing 2 good quarterbacks.
You know, Delane, when you have the 2 quarterback system, it does help kind of having the preseason, figuring it out, especially with some different levels of competition. What is it that you want to see from these quarterbacks? What is it in specifics that's going to set one of these guys apart from the other?
Yeah, I'm really looking at 3 things: leadership. Who can lead the team, who can lead the offense, who's going to be the field general out there, and that's a big one for me. And then completions are king. So who's going to complete the ball? If we come out there on Thursday night and somebody goes 65%, somebody goes 45%, well, that'll be pretty telling, because they're both running similar plays, and they're also running plays that are tailored to what they do best. So completions are king for me, and then the last one is you can't turn the football over. Our football program and our offense and defense aren't based on our offense turning the football over, so whoever can protect the football.
Coach, they have, NIL money. They have, more budget. I mean, it's very, very lopsided. I don't know if we want to get into that or not, but how do you go up there and try to, keep your guys hungry and steady, knowing that this is kind of that David versus Goliath matchup? I mean, for everybody in the state, we love these in-state matchups. We want the guaranteed money games to stay in the state instead of paying somebody from out of state. But how are you approaching this message-wise with the guys knowing you're not supposed to go up there and touch the Utah Utes?
Yeah, you brought up a couple things being lopsided and not bitter. We say it with a smile on our face because it's funny. Cam Rising's salary this year is more than our entire operational budget. He's making more money this year than our entire football budget at SUU. And then you brought up budgets. That their strength and conditioning and nutrition budget is more than our entire budget also. So yeah, there's some lopsided factors here, and I'd hate to throw the exact figure out there, but they're spending 10 times as much on football as we are. But that being said, our players are excited to go play an in-state opponent at the FCS level, and almost every single team does it, but at the FCS level, you've got to make some money with football to help out with the other sports, to help out your athletic program. And I agree with you. I like the money staying in state. I don't like the taxpayers' money going out of state. So, us, Utah Tech, Weber, we should be playing BYU and Utah each year, or at least every other year.
I agree with you, Coach. I think one good thing out of this is that you get to see some good competition, and you really get the idea to see where some of your guys might stand. Something that I wanted to ask you about is, what are some of the other positions that we should be keeping an eye on going into tomorrow? Are there any other key battles that we might want to be seeing? Is there any other position battles that may have been flying under the radar, or is it kind of just more so figuring out who's going to be quarterback going forward?
Yeah, great question. For the first time since I've been here, we have competition battles because we have depth. We'll have 2 or 3 good players at a position. We've got 3 tight ends that we really like, and I don't think they're battling for playing time because we play a lot of tight ends, but I think they're very complimentary of each other. Guys, we're really good up front. Our offensive line can play, and we're excited about them. There's some parity at wide receiver. I would say there's competition for playing time at wide receiver for us. That'd be a fair one. The reason being is we've got 7 or 8 kids that are similar and kind of equal, so there's some competition there. We flip over on the other side of the ball. There's competition at safety. Still not settled at safety, and not where I want to be from a playing standpoint. Safety and nickel, there's still something to be desired there. And then, guys, we're good at corner. We're good at corner and deep there, and we're good at linebacker and deep there. And then our D tackles. Our D tackles are one of the bright spots in our football program.
Yeah, I want to ask you about. I think this is going to be maybe a commonplace when you and I chat, but I always got to check in on my buddy Parker Andrews from over at Crimson Cliffs. How did he wrap up the last couple of weeks since we last spoke, and how did his fall camp go as a true freshman?
Yeah, Parker's steady Eddie. You know what you're getting from him, and he's going to have a smile on his face. If you've ever met him, everybody knows that. He's going to have a smile on his face, and going to have a good attitude, and going to work hard each day. Parker's going to play tomorrow night, so I'm sure he's probably a little excited and a little bit nervous right now because he's going to roll out in front of 55,000 people and play tomorrow night. But he's had a good camp, and he's had a good week of practice. For everybody else in St. George listening, SUU's the place to come play, because then you get talked about on the radio station every week.
I love it, man. Always recruiting, man. Hey, what is the message from John Kelling, your D coordinator, as far as how to slow down Keithy and Rising and Money Parks and all these their transfer wide receiver that's been turning heads? Like, is John just excited right now on that side of the ball to go get a challenge like that this Thursday night?
Yeah, Devin, you've met John. He on his excitement level, he can go from 0 to 60 pretty quick. Cam Rising coming off the knee injury, and they would like Cam Rising to get some game action at game speed, and for him to stand in the pocket, unscathed and throw the football. We're going to heat him up. We're going to heat him up and try to make it as uncomfortable as possible, and see if we can get some hits on the quarterback early. So, our game plan going into this thing is to mix up some blitzes and show them some things that they haven't seen from us and nobody else has seen from us either, and just get after them a little bit.
I want you to explain to our listeners just quickly, you got a pass game coordinator, I think, Will Brunson, and then Matt White's your run game coordinator. What is that dynamic like, and who gets the final say on what play you're actually running? Does that fall on you?
Yeah, so they work really well together. They're in Devin, you and I are old men now, so they're young guys, and they're in the same peer group, and they share an office. They work really well together. Matt coming to us out of Truman State D2 in Missouri, and Matt was a 2.5, 3-year starter at NC State. Good football player in his own right, but just a star as an offensive line coach. Matt handles everything run game for us. And then Will Brunson started at quarterback at Albany, had a grad year and was looking for a change of scenery. So his graduate year, he started for us at quarterback at Frostburg State in Maryland. And then since Will graduated with his master's degree at Frostburg, he stayed with us coaching. And a really good, young, innovative offensive mind, a throw game guy. He played quarterback his whole life, so he understands it from that perspective. Will gets to call the plays. So Will call our offensive plays with input from Matt, and then Matt is pretty heavy in the play calls on first down.
Well put. Well put. Go ahead, C. I know you got another question. We're talking with Delane Fitzgerald, head coach of SUU's football team, getting ready for the Utes tomorrow night.
Yeah, Coach, I just wanted to ask, when you go into the locker room and you're talking to your guys getting ready for tomorrow night's game, clearly you and I both understand what the outcome and what the odds makers are saying. But this is, for a lot of these kids, a chance to go and play for the hometown university, right? University of Utah, BYU, the two big schools out here in Utah. What's the excitement level for these kids being able to go up north, like you're saying, and play in front of what could be 55,000 fans and just kind of getting their first chance to really be shown out there nationally this season?
We have an offensive and a defensive starter that both signed with Utah out of high school, and Braden Whistler and LeCarrier Pleasant Johnson, LPJ. We have those two, and I'm sure their excitement level is a little higher than the other players on the team because they actually played there. For the Utah kids, I'm not naive. I know they get excited about it, and I know they grew up dreaming of playing in Rice Eccles or playing for the Utes and things like that. Guys, I don't get into that a whole lot. The way I'm talking to you now is the way I talk to our players, kind of matter of fact. Here's who we are, and this is where we're at, and this is what we're trying to accomplish on this particular Thursday night, and that's the way I'll talk to them. But I agree with you. I agree with you. I think the kids from Utah, and especially the kids from that greater Salt Lake area, I think they get pretty amped up to go up there and play.
Going to be fun, Coach. Always appreciate you carving out some time for us, especially a busy week. Is the Salt Lake media hitting you up? You got a lot of interview drops this week with a lot of the media, or are they taking this one for granted?
This is the most. This is the most interviews I've done in my career. In any week in my career, this is the most interviews I've done, and I have 2 more to go today. Guys, they are, and rightfully so. Utah is one of the top 6, maybe top 8 programs in the country right now. Should win the Big 12, should make the college football playoffs, should get a bye. They should get a first-round bye in the playoffs if they handle their business correctly. People up in that area understand it, and they're really, really excited about their Utes.
Yep.
So I like them too. What can I say? I think they got a great coaching staff and a bunch of great players running around.
Yeah, well put, Coach. But you got a job to do. You'll have your guys ready. Get out of there healthy. That's going to be a key. And then I think next week, now we can be talking maybe about a little bit more of a level playing field. You guys will go down to the Sun Bowl, another big stadium down there to take on UTEP, and we'll have you on again before that game. Coach, appreciate the time. Safe travels. I know it's a quick trip up and back, but safe travels, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Guys, I appreciate y'all having me. Y'all have a great weekend. Go Thunderbirds.
All right, go Thunderbirds. There's Delane Fitzgerald, Coach Fitz. Pretty realistic with the situation. Tall order. He knows that. But man, I love the fact that he's got the guys ready to go. They're going to give maximum effort. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys lock in if you can't make the game. ESPN Plus tomorrow night, 7:00. All right, hour 1 of the books. Hour 2 coming up when we come back.